ladies, welcome back to another video. I'm back. We are home. We've been home for approximately 2 days, and I need to get back into the swing of things to try and stave off jet lag, which has been really tough. I think the kids are struggling a little bit. I sent them off to school the day after we arrived. Hubby went back to work, and we're all trying to just stay awake, basically. But I thought I would start off with an easy video for me to ease back into things. School holidays are coming, which means that my videos will become, you'll still have all your videos, but they will be more journal with me's. I'll be working on my junk journal and my travel journal, because I'll have my teacup humans home. It'll be a lot of speed videos of me creating. That way, because they make a lot of noise. Kids make a lot of noise, and they're excited about Christmas and everything. So I'll probably be working on my journal and doing voiceovers of a nighttime. I'll see how that goes. There may be a few times when I jump in and chat, if I can get my kids to quiet down for me. They're pretty good nowadays, but there will be a whole heap of working in my junk journal. I'm going to film the intro video to that after this. I have a few more days of no kids at home, but school finishes this Friday, and then they're home for like 6 weeks or something ridiculous. So we'll see how that all turns out. But I thought I would do part one of the haul. Everyone wanted to see everything, but I'm going to break it up into bits, otherwise it'll be some crazy amount of time. So I am going to do the creative bits first, because that was the consensus, that everyone wanted to see the creative stuff first and then all the other bits and pieces second. So I thought that I'd just break it up and make it easier and more manageable for myself, because there's a lot of stuff, and not just stuff that I purchased, but stuff that I was given at the meetups. I was thoroughly spoilt by you Inkies when I had the meetups. I was given some wonderful gifts, some beautiful cards. It was a truly humbling experience for both the LA and the New York meetups, and something that I hope to do again in the future if we get the chance to ever go back to New York. I said to hubby I want to live there in a heartbeat, and he agreed, but I don't think that'll ever happen, but a girl can dream. So let's get started with the haul. Now, you're going to be a little bit disappointed with me, but I didn't actually buy that many art supplies. I went into the art supply warehouse in LA with the girls, Ro, Anahi, and Maria, and I was super overwhelmed by it all. It was amazing the amount of art supplies you guys get in a bricks and mortar store compared to what we have in Australia. It was chalk and cheese. Chalk and cheese. You guys are very lucky to have those sorts of stores. I wanted to adopt every sketchbook there was. I was staring at all the sketchbooks going, oh my goodness, I want all of them, knowing how many I have at home. But I did pick up a few things in my trip. I picked up a few creative bits and bobs as well. So I will share them with you. I'll also do cutaway shots of swatching things so you can see what they are like. I'm not going to swatch them live. I'll do speed swatches as I go through the video. But I didn't have a lot on my list of things to acquire. One of the things that I did say that I wanted to get was the haulpt1 acrylic gouache. And I loved seeing all these different illustrators playing with these pastel tone gouaches, and I was like, I need those, I want to play with those. So that was one of the things that I beelined for when I went to the art supply warehouse. And I did actually have one bust on me from the trip from LA to New York. So I found a Dick Blick on the way to meeting my girlfriend to see the Highline, and ran in and grabbed the pale mint color, which is the color that busted on me in my suitcase. Not many casualties. As you can see, one of my artist pens has pale mint stuck in the lid, but other than that, there was no other issues except a tube of my pink hair dye busted on the way home, and we had a couple of casualties, but I was a bit sad about that, because I actually bought a box of the dye that I've recolored my hair with, and was like, yep, I love that. I'll take a box home so I can color it again in a couple of weeks. And now it's in the bin because it went everywhere. Anyway, these are the tubes that I actually picked up. I picked up a backup of Opera Pink, and I picked up a backup of Light Magenta. So those two are doubles, and so we don't need to see all those. So these are essentially the colors that I picked up. I picked up Lilac, peacock blue, light magenta, opera, pale lilac, Prussian blue, cosmos pink, pale aqua, ice green, pale mint, and pale peach. Now I wanted to get as many of the pale colors because they're the more pastel colors, and they are the things that I've seen like all around. I wish I'd gotten a few more colors. Like I said, I was not thinking straight. The art supply warehouse had Copic markers really cheap, and I only bought 6. And I'm now kicking myself, so I may have to get some of my LA girls to do a bit of personal shopping for me, because I thought, oh, maybe the other places will have them cheap as well, and they were very close to what I pay in Australia once I converted. So I was like, I was really kicking myself. So I am going to insert a clip of me swatching these for you in my journal, and I cannot wait to play with these more. I've seen them everywhere and I can't get my hands on them in Australia. No one stocks them. So I was glad to be able to pick up a whole heap of the tubes to play with in my journal. I love the whole light pastel stuff, and a couple of the dark colors that I've seen, you know, the pastels mixed with the dark colors. But yeah, I am going to have so much fun with these, layering them with my watercolors and things. So I will report back to you on how they actually go and if I like them or don't like them. So we'll see. But that was one of the first purchases I made, were the Holbein acrylic gouaches. And I'll put links down below if I can find links. Next year I will be doing affiliate links if I can get my stuff together, because I'm not quite sure how it all works, but I've been told that I must start getting affiliate links by many people. So I will try and get that for you sorted before 2018, but you know how I am, pretty lazy. So that was a purchase number 1, all the tubes of acrylic gouache by Holbein. What else did I buy at the art supply warehouse? Well, I actually bought a big tube of speedball printing, block printing ink, and in hot pink. I haven't played with this yet. I just was like really drawn to the fact that it was pink ink, so I grabbed a tube. It wasn't very expensive, so I was like, hopefully it won't bust in my suitcase. So I will have some fun with that. I'm always trying to find different ways to put hot pink in my journal, hot pink ink, so this will be interesting to see how it works on journal paper and stuff like that. It was a really random purchase, really random, but you know, that's what I want to do. I did pick up some Copic markers. Like I said, I only picked up 6 at the art supply warehouse. Didn't take swatches of anything that I already owned. I was fully not prepared. I don't know why I decided that I wouldn't do that, or maybe I just ran out of time. It was all a bit crazy. So I picked colors that I absolutely knew I didn't own. I didn't have Prussian blue, and I've always wanted, they're a bit dirty because my Stabilo pencil, a pencil cap came off in my pencil case, so I've got Stabilo all over them. I knew I didn't have Prussian blue. I've been wanting a dark blue for a while. I also bought dark bark, which is a dark brown. Again, not a color I own. I picked up pinkish vanilla to test for skin tones, because my skin tones need a bit more oomph. Some pearl white as well. I also picked up red, violet, and fuchsia. But like I said, I will need to do some more. I think they came to like $4.60 a pen, and they're like $10 in Australia. $10. I am so stupid. I think I was trying to be conservative, and like, this is like day 1 or day 2, or it was like the first shopping that I'd done after Disneyland and stuff. So I was an idiot. Let's just be real. And then I went to another store and picked up a couple of Chow markers in mint green and lipstick natural and pale grape. So they are all the Copics that I purchased while I was away. Pathetic, isn't it? It really is. I know it is, but you'll see swatches of those as in cutaway shots, so you can see. I think they'll be really fun and add a few more pops into my already quite large collection. I am going to collect all the Copic markers. If it kills me, I use these a lot, and I use them a lot in your collage sheets. So I am really mad at myself for not picking up more, because I use them every single month in your collage sheets, and I love how my illustrations looked when they're scanned and they're drawn and colored in Copic marker. So that is one of my art supplies to acquire in 2018 is more markers. So that will be something that I start working on, but I need to sit down and swatch all the ones that I own so I can actually start making smart decisions, smart buying decisions. When I was in the Japanese bookstore in New York for my meetup, I picked up these Zig brushables, and I have not seen these before in Australia. So I picked up a couple of colors to play with, and I didn't realize until I was standing in line at the checkout that they actually have 2 different colors. So it is a brush tip on the end, and there's like each color is like there's a dark pink and a lighter pink. I was really enamored by that. So they are both brush tips, and this just says pure pink, and these are pigment ink, acid free, waterproof, fade proof, non-bleeding, yada yada yada. So that was really cool. I really like the fact that you got 2 different colors. So you got a light blue and a pale blue. These were $3.99 from the Japanese bookstore. So I got 4 of those just to test them out, and I'm really impressed that essentially I got 8 colors because they've got, you know, different shades. So I guess that helps with like shading and stuff because they're very similar shades. They're just like a light one and a dark one. So that's really cool. I thought they were fun. I love Zig as a brand, so I was happy to pick those up. So yeah, they'll be nice to add to my little marker collection. I do love markers for illustrating quite a lot. So, and you can see that most of the things I bought were markers. I also went a bit nutso on the Pitt Artist brush pens. You guys have a huge selection of colors. I don't know why Australia doesn't get as many colors as you do. I don't know. I was like seeing colors I'd never seen before, and so I picked up quite a few actually from different various shops. I picked up a couple here, a couple there. So I picked up Crimson, which is the one that got all the gouache on it, light green, dark cadmium yellow, medium flesh, that's a bit scary, that flesh color, I wouldn't call it flesh, pink carmine, phthalo green, that was one of my favorites when I first picked that one up, and the purple together, lilac, and then dark indigo. So these are colors that I haven't seen in Australia that I could just pick up and buy. We get the stock standard colors like the red and the blue and the grays and the browns, but not any of these bright colors. We get the pinks, we get a couple of pinks, but we don't get, you know, say this mint green, this lilac purple, and this crimson. We don't get those colors, or if we do, they'll come in packs. So I haven't been able to pick up these, and I really do love the Artist pens as a brand. I like the big brush pens, and I have quite a few of the grays and the pinks that I've bought from our Japanese bookstore because that's basically the only colors really available. So it was nice to see a heap of different shades. Again, these are one of my favorites to just draw with and play with, and they're cheap. They're really inexpensive, so I really like those. I did pick up another Coco Iro pen by Zig. I was introduced to this brand when I got my stationery selection box, and basically it is a refillable pen system that you can take the pen out of the body, so you can mix and match pen bodies. So this is the one that I got in the Japanese subscription box in the clear. And so when I was in Maido with Rowena, I saw there was a hot pink one, so I grabbed the hot pink one, and I also got the same tip because I really actually love the brush tips that they have for these pens. So I picked up the hot pink body and another cartridge because they're just a good all-rounder pen. I love pens. We all know it. Let's not joke ourselves. So they had all the colors too. I had to stop myself from buying all the bodies. I only bought the hot pink one. I was staying true to my obsession with pink. And you can tell that I am obsessed with pink because the Inkies bought me quite a lot of pink stuff, which I just adored. I picked up 3 of the Tombow Iridescent pencils. I can't get my hands on these in Australia. I haven't tried them. I've been asked about them and I've not been able to help anyone because I haven't tried them. So I grabbed a fluoro pink, of course, the pale pink and a lime green just to try. I'm not quite sure how much they were, but I just wanted to give them a whirl to see if I liked them enough to ever invest in them. I asked everyone for the Holbein colored pencils. As you guys know, I got the pastel set recently and fell head over heels for them. My Christmas wish list this year is actually money towards buying the entire set of Holbein pencils, which is a very hefty price tag, which is why it would be a group family contribution kind of deal. And I do love my Prismacolors. I have been a Prismacolor girl for coming up for 10 years. But I really want to give the Holbein pencils a run for their money. And I've seen the color selection. They have really quirky colors. And quirky colors is a big draw card for me because there's just something about them and they are so buttery soft. So I asked all the art stores I went into if they sold them and no one did. So I did not pick up those, but they are on my Christmas wish list. I picked up a Prismacolor Verithin dual colored pencil for drawing in the red and the blue. This was only $1.25, so I grabbed one of those. I'm very interested to see how they compare to the Prismacolor color erasers. So that was kind of why I picked up one of these from the Japanese bookstore, just to test what the difference is between the two. So grabbed one of those. I also picked up this random pen from the Japanese bookstore called the Pentel Stylo. And it has a very strange little nib. It said it's flexible. It was $3.99. I'm not quite sure on the tip size, it doesn't say, but I have never seen this pen in Australia and it intrigued me. I tried to buy things that I haven't seen in Australia or couldn't get in Australia to make it worthwhile. You guys know I'm always testing black pens, I'm always testing different things for my line work and stuff. So far the Tiki graphics are still in head spot, also followed by very closely by the multi-ball, but I wanted to grab one of those. They were interesting. I've not seen it here in Australia, although they could be around. I could be wrong, who knows. So that was the other pen that I picked up. So what I might do is clear off all this stuff from my desk so I can move in other things. I picked up, quirky pins. I picked up some fluoro pink artist tape from Blick. I have no idea why I bought this. I just suddenly went, oh my goodness, I need to own you. So I picked up a big roll of this fluoro pink artist tape. I can see this being used a lot, not for what it's meant to be for, but because it is just fluoro pink tape. Everyone needs a big roll of fluoro pink tape. I think it's meant to be for when you tape paintings down and that sort of stuff, but I didn't care. It's going to get used everywhere in my journal. So I'm going to move all this stuff off my desk and come back with some other bits and pieces, so give me 1 second. All right, moving right along, let's talk about, for a little hot second, Sojourner. Now, as you guys know, I stayed with Rowena for a couple of nights and also had a meetup in LA at her studio. And you'll see bits and pieces of footage of that when I come to do my junk journal with me. All my vlog footage will be intertwined with journaling because that's how I feel that it'll be best done. Now, as you guys know, Turmeric relaunched right before I came to LA, and I had basically begged Rowena to put an A5 aside from me because I didn't get a chance to actually order one, and she knew that everyone knew that I was after an A5 or any size at that matter. I tried the buy swap sell page. I was literally ready to mug someone for a Turmeric. So she hand delivered me my turmeric when I came to visit. So to save on shipping and stuff, I asked her to keep it aside for me until I came. And that was one of the first things that I was handed at her studio was my turmeric. And I love the way the yellow looks with my hot pink nails. Now this is so beautiful and soft. It is such a stunning color, and I know that it just gets better with age. I have seen how the turmeric has patinaed into a really beautiful dark mustard color, which I'm really excited to get. It is a very smooth and pebbly leather. I absolutely love all the texture on it. It's really hard to pick up on camera, but it is just stunning. And I actually went and bought a notebook to put in it. So this is the campus notebook that I got from Mido, and this is by Kokuyo, and it feels really beautiful paper. I'm actually really interested in how this is going to hold up. I was testing watercolors in the car and fountain pen ink. These are the watercolors that I tested. So they're a couple of the Daniel Smiths and my Pilot Decimo in the fine nib, and that is what it looks like on the other page. So you can't really see any of the fountain pen. You can see a touch of ghosting with the watercolors, but it has that really lovely sound to it. And this notebook from Mido was really cheap. I think it was something like $5 or something like that. I needed to grab a notebook to put inside it so that it didn't look so sad and floppy. I'm gonna fix up my autofocus because it's having a bit of a fit. So let me just... Right, so now it will stay in focus. So there is my beautiful turmeric. I know that lots of people are getting theirs shipped out soon, or they've already got their hands on one. She did not expect the mammoth response to turmeric as she did. She's crazy. I told her everyone wanted this color. I love how it looks with the rose Sharon next to it. So pink and yellow are two of my favorite color combos together. So I am actually going to be using this one as business ideas and how to grow the whole Little Raven Ink brand, and website ideas and that sort of stuff. So this will be very business orientated, lots of business notes and stuff like that. So I have a purpose for it, and I just love it. Now, as you guys know, I have the pen pouches in both the yellow and the Getty, not the yellow, the Rose of Sharon and the Getty, and I took both of these with me. As you can see, my fountain pens are inside, the ones that I took with me. My mustard one ran out of ink, but they're the 3 pens that I took. If you're not in the Facebook group and you didn't know, none of my pens leaked in the flights to and from across the world. I have these 2, I've got ink in them at the moment. This one had ink, it doesn't anymore, it's all finished. But I had no problems whatsoever. I used my pens while on the flight, no leaking, no nada, and it was in my carry-on luggage. So that's some little FYI for you. I had lots of different explanations of what to do, what they've done, what they've experienced. So I just decided to go rogue, not do anything, pack them in my pencil case, my pouch. This one was actually in my journal, and I had no issues with any of my fountain pens. So there is a little bit of information for you. But as you can see, that this one is empty, and this one had my travel watercolor brushes in it. And I love the Getty leather, it's beautiful. Now, Ro was, we had coffee, and I saw that she had a little credit card holder, and I looked at it, and it was one of these, but it was smaller. Probably about this size, so this big. And I was like, wow, that's really cute. She goes, I just made it for my cards. And so I kind of grabbed the pouch, I took her credit cards out, and I decided to see if my watercolor brushes would fit inside it. And this is what was sent in the mail to me, when I actually left my turmeric and my Superior Labor pen roll in her car when she went to drop us off to the hotel when we were going to Universal Studios. I was swatching watercolors in the car when we were driving around because we wanted to see what kind of paper this was and if it would hold up to our watercolors. And she's like, okay, I said, okay, I'll test them while we're driving. I can do that, it's no problem. And so when we went for lunch, I put my turmeric and my Superior pen pen roll in the console in the car, as she said she didn't like having anything on display for the car to get broken into. So I just popped them in the middle, and I completely forgot they were there. And by the time I'd remembered, Ro was already halfway home, and so she shipped them to my girlfriend in New York. Now inside that parcel was not only my turmeric and my Superior pen roll, but it was also this little bitty baby here. So you can see the difference in size from the normal standard fountain pen roll to the little baby one. And when you open it up, it actually fits the Escoda travel brushes like perfectly, absolutely perfectly. I was so excited when I saw that they were in here. So they're all my this is actually the Jane Davenport one. So they're all my Escoda ones there in the two different sizes, the small and the large. So you can see what they look like in there, the big ones and the small ones. So they're my larger ones, and they're my smaller ones. And this is the Jane Davenport travel brush that I haven't had a chance to use just yet. So I've popped that one in there as well, and that fits beautifully like a glove. Now I am going to push Ro to put this on the website because I think it is just the perfect little size for your travel watercolor brushes. I mean, this, if you've got this already, you probably don't need this, but I do love how small and petite it is. I know, Ro, you're probably watching and ready to kill me for showing this, but it's part of my haul. So I absolutely love how compact and little and bitty. I love mini things so much. So I was really excited when I unwrapped my turmeric. It was lovely to get it back, and my Superior pen roll, but when I saw this as a little added surprise bonus, I was so grateful. So thank you, Ro, for that little beautiful surprise. And that wasn't the only surprise that Ro actually handed to me. The day that I left, she handed me something truly beautiful, and I will show you that now, but I need to scroll out my camera focus because it is rather big, and you may have an idea about what it might be, but I will show you in just a second once I scroll out my camera and move the things off. So this was gifted to me by Ro the day that I left, and it was such a wonderful surprise, and I'm so excited to play with it. Now, if you guys know, I actually was looking for an A3, and I didn't ask Ro at first because I knew that it didn't align with her branding of being slim and lightweight and all that sort of, you know, travel friendly. That was not her branding, so I didn't ask Ro to do me an A3. I actually went to Morgan Le Fay's Trinkets and got a A3 huge hot pink beast made up, which I'm pretty sure I've already shown you, but I'll insert a couple of pictures. It's massive, absolutely massive. But she did, however, make a smaller version, and this is just a little bit bigger than A4 because it is, it's just a really good size. It's very lightweight, which I love, and this is her going to be part of her studio series. So it will be something that is available. It has a beautiful little tie. I love the simplicity of it. It is pretty sure it is the new Ibex leather. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. I asked her and she told me, but I'm having a bit of a mind blank. It's got the elastics in it as well, and then what she's used is, you know, those big art sketchbooks that you can get. I used to carry these around in high school. I did lots of art subjects in high school, so I had 4 of these huge sketchbooks, and it is just that paper folded in half and then slipped into the notebook itself. So that is a great way to use loose sheets of paper. She's included a whole heap of watercolor paper in here for me, some tone, that sort of toned and stuff, but it is just so beautiful, and an unexpected gift that I actually saw one on her desk in the studio, and I was like looking at it and eyeing it off. It had like a belt buckle. It was just so beautiful, but I didn't say anything because it was just such a busy day. But when she pulled this out and said that it was one of the what do you call those, prototypes, I was just really, really, really excited to bring it home and have a play with it. So you're going to see me working in both this one and the huge A3 one in different ways coming in the coming year, and I just cannot wait. I love the size. This is actually fits perfectly in the donut backpack, which has gone like wildfire in our group. It actually slips into the back quite easily, so the fact that it's very lightweight and very easy would be a great way if you wanted to take something bigger with you. I don't know if I'll ever travel with it, but it has the possibility when it fits into my backpack so simply. So one of the first things we did when she handed it to me was testing to see if it fit into the backpack, and it did, which I am very, very happy about. So I have that option. This is something that I'd probably take to my mom's house when we go visit in Varel. Definitely something that I can see me taking on that sort of trip, but I probably wouldn't do a holiday travel with it. But family, little mini getaways, this would be a great little thing to take with you and sketch and draw. So I can't wait to play with this in the new year and show you what I've got simmering around in my mind. I will say that this holiday has been amazing for a mental break for me. I didn't realize how much I needed one until I took one, and it was such a good way for me to sort of just relax, revitalize, and take in different scenery, different color palettes, different, you know, a whole different way that people dress. It was so much fun and so good for my brain to just soak it all up without having to do anything with that information, just enjoy it and immerse myself in it to help me regen. I really needed to regen more than I could have expected to. And this trip was also a massive leap for how I deal after my operation. This trip was the first thing that I've done since my operation, and it hit me pretty hard. I didn't realize that it was going to take such a toll on my body, especially not having enough food in my system and not having enough water in my system. It hit me harder than I expected. So I'm glad that I took the break, because I don't know if I would have been able to do it all while on holiday, while my body was adjusting to waking up early, you know, walking all day, eating at ridiculous times, not eating, not drinking, or just that sort of stuff. So juggling those with everything else, I am very, very glad that I took the break I needed for the holiday and just was present in the moment with my kids and my hubby. It was really important that I did that, and I'm glad that I actually listened to you guys for once and did what I was told. But this beautiful thing will be used quite a lot in the new year. I cannot wait to just fill it up and go crazy with it. So those are two surprise things, and obviously my turmeric that I received from Roe, and they will be cherished as always, as all my sojourners are. They are definitely my favorites, of course. So let's see what else I have on my table. Moving right along, I actually went shopping with Ro to a beautiful bookstore called Romans, and they had these stunning staircases with tiles embedded in, like rainbow colored tiles. I absolutely love that store. And I actually picked up a wax seal with a detachable handle in hot pink. It's the first time I have seen a hot pink one, and I just had to own it. And I also got the letter C, and I picked up some metallic pink wax to go with it. So that was sort of like a little memento purchase. Ro and I went in together, and she picked up some as well. So it was nice to do a little bit of shopping with her alone. My pin game is strong, let me tell you. I bought quite a few pins. I was gifted a few pins as well. So I will pull those out and grab my yellow pouch, because I've also put a couple of pins on my pouch, and I will show you the pins that I am now going to probably put up the strap of my yellow pouch, because I've got quite a few. So I was gifted by Anahi a little California Republic pin in the little gift that she sent me. This was actually from Ro that she sent me before I came, a little pink spotty Minnie Mouse Converse shoe. And I was gifted, now I am not going to remember where everything came from, because everything got mixed up in the bag, so I had things all sorted in who gave me what so I could name the people, and then hubby got to it and moved everything around to get all of our weight evenly distributed. So I was also gifted a beautiful Frida pin by an Inky, and then I picked up from Disney a Alice in Wonderland pin that says stay weird. I absolutely love that. I picked up 2 Bambi pins. There was only 2 in the whole of Disneyland. One was Bambi with Thumper, which reminds me of hubby because I always called him my Thumper to my Bambi. And then a little Winter Wonderland one with Bambi in a scarf with Thumper. So they're the 3 Disney pins that I picked up from Disneyland. Hubby actually picked me up a little apple pin with the New York skyline, which I absolutely adored. He picked that up on the sly. I bought a Luna pin, which is a Sailor Moon pin. I absolutely loved it. Obviously, I was missing Raven as well because I bought quite a few random black cat things. I picked up a limited edition Minnie mouse. Is it Minnie? No, that one is, oh no, it is Minnie, from the Disney store. This was something you could buy with your purchase, and money went to the children's hospital, so I picked up a mini one for myself. I picked up a little black cat ironing a pink shirt from the Japanese bookstore. A random pin, but like I said, I was totally missing Raven. And then I picked up a little pin called that says I'm a mess. I actually had a panic attack in the Japanese bookstore the day before my meetup. I went there to go and have a check out of where it was going to be and get a feel for it, so I wasn't going in blind. And there was so many people and it was so busy, and I just got really overwhelmed and had an actual panic attack, which I haven't had a physical one in a really long time. And I had picked up this pen and started laughing and showed John, and he told me that I needed to buy it because it helped settle me down. Like, it helped tear my attention away from the fact that my chest was like beating really fast and I was like getting out of breath, and he was trying to get me to focus on him and only him while I was standing in line. And then I happened to pick up this, so this was a nice distraction. And this isn't a pin, but it's from the same sort of line as the little cat ironing. It's actually a little metal bookmark that I'm going to use in my planner, and it's got a little black cat reading a book. You know, random stuff. I also picked up a little black cat stamp from Mido. This is from Kiki's delivery service, and I absolutely love the whole concept of black cats, not just because I own Raven. I've loved black cats my entire life, and I just love them, and I wanted them everywhere. And I saw so many black cat things that I wanted every single black cat thing I could find. So I grabbed the little stamp to go all over my journal. I checked out Paper Source in New York, and I actually picked up this really cool tape dispenser because I normally have my clear tape just hanging off the side of my desk because I use it for tip-ins sometimes, and it was getting really annoying, and it would just get dirty and it would collect all the crap. So I said to John when I saw it, I need a tape dispenser. So I grabbed this one, and it's totally up my alley. It's got like a pink hue to it, and it's got glittery sparkles on the inside, so that will take pride of place on my desk. I know it's really bulky and heavy, and I did do a few dumb purchases like that. Like, I have 2 big chunky art books that I brought home with me, and I probably shouldn't because of the weight allowance, but we made it home in the end with all the stuff. So I absolutely love this. Paper Source is a beautiful store, so thank you for the recommendation to go visit Paper Source. While I'm talking about art books, I will clear off this and bring the 2 art books that I purchased from Barnes & Noble. By the way, Barnes & Noble had a spectacular, unique art book section. I was really impressed with the variety that they had. They had really obscure things. They actually had a stationary fan or something. I have to try and figure out the name of it, but it was literally flat lays of hot stationery. It was like a porno for me. Like, I literally wanted to bring that home too, but it was a huge book and heavy, and I already had 2 huge heavy books in my hand, so I didn't bring it home, but I'm definitely going to book depository that. If I can remember the name of it, because I didn't take a picture because I'm an idiot, I will put a link down below for it. But literally, it is just flat lays of beautiful stationery. Oh, so pretty. I actually bought 3 books and 1 magazine from Barnes & Noble, which I completely forgot about, so good job. This is Uppercase magazine. I had heard about it, vaguely remember hearing about it from somewhere, from I think someone reviewed it on their channel, I don't know, but I've heard of Uppercase magazine. This was actually shrink wrapped. There was no magazine open that I could flick through, and I was looking at all the magazines trying to decide which one I wanted to buy, and then I read For the Creative and the Curious, and I was like, right, I'm gonna take that as a sign that that is something I need to have. So I did purchase issue number 35 of the Uppercase magazine, and it is stunning, and I'm glad that I listened to my gut. It has got some beautiful things that I will use for collage fodder, quirky, weird graphics that I loved. It's really beautifully laid out. I am actually going to read this like I do my Womankind magazine. It looks like it's got some fantastic articles and ideas and inspiration and artist interviews. Like, this stuff was just so beautiful. It's about planning, but it's like planning but art planning. I absolutely loved how it looked, and I was like, oh, this is exactly the reason why I purchased this. It is so stunning that this is all like planning but in a creative way. I just loved it. Paper stuff, I'm actually going to look into getting a subscription to this magazine based on this one alone, and that's saying something. I hope that they deliver to Australia. I haven't checked yet, but all this sort of stuff, we don't get this magazine, and I don't know why. Lettering, just so beautiful. So here's a quick flick of this issue if you're interested. It looks amazing. It looks beautiful. I love it. I'm so happy that I listened to my gut and picked it up. Even though I didn't get a chance to look at it from the inside, I am super happy with this purchase. So that is Uppercase magazine. Very cool. So much eye candy in there. You exploded in my heart. Oh, I love that. I love that. So there is that one. And they do other magazines as well, I think. This one, so I read on the back, it says, in this issue, castle, character, diagrams, days, vort, value, rulers, raster, welding, winding, paper cut, and passage. And I was just like, maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't, I don't know, but I love it. And they do like other things like the Botanica, flowers and plants. I'm actually going to get a copy of this. The Uppercase Encyclopedia of Inspiration, B is for Botanica. And just based on this, I want this because I love floral stuff. So it's got 448 beautiful pages. Flowers and plants have long been a muse of artist and craftsperson. Botanica collects a veritable mixed bouquet of inspiring art, illustration, pattern designs, floral inspired projects, and botanically inclined lifestyles. Succulents and cacti, a simple potted plant, are of a moment trend, but this volume goes back to the historical sources and botanical ephemera, illustrating that creatives have an evergreen fascination with all things floral. I need it in my life. It's happening. It's happening. So, Uppercase magazines, looking for a subscription. Totally love it. I picked up a book which I am actually going to pull apart for journal fodder, and that may be abhorrent to you, but you guys know nothing is safe with me when it comes to journal fodder. And this is actually it's meant to be one of those journals that you add your own stuff to. Oh, I didn't know it had red stitching. Oh, I love that. But it is full of text and quotes and color palettes and things like that, and it's a really beautiful paper. It would probably work really well as a journal, and you could probably collage in here and everything like that, but I just wanted to pull it apart and turn it into journal fodder for my collages. So that's what I'm going to do. I could probably make this myself. I know I could make this myself, but sometimes it's nice to have things on hand yourself. that you don't have to actually work too hard for. So I will definitely be pulling this apart, and because it's not double-sided, like one page is white, well, not that one, but anyway, most of them there's big blank pages in between. So it was a really random purchase, but I'm really happy that I did grab it, because I think it'll be a really nice addition to my collage fodder stuff. And obviously I can't, you know, letter for love nor money. So this is A Colourful Life. I do not know who it is by. I just know it is by haulpt Construction, because there is actually no author at all. And so I'll link all the books down below if you're interested, as well as Uppercase Magazine. But yeah, pretty cool, but something we could probably do ourselves, but I needed some instant gratification basically. And this will be that book. Okay, moving on to the two big fat chunky art books that I bought, and I'm talking like this one is this thick and hardcover and heavy, and this one is this thick, and you know, I couldn't leave without them. So this is a Color Harmony Compendium. You guys know I love color books. I have like color manuals, color dictionaries, all that sort of thing. Oh my God, birds, give it a rest. So this is it's like color combinations that you wouldn't think of. Now, in 2018, I want to push to do a bit more color work out of my pink, yellow, blue combinations. I want to do more stuff. And so this was a way to show me color combinations also, but color combinations in advertising, and how things and color combinations can change the way you feel about something based on the colors that have been paired together. And I thought it was super, super interesting. So it's all divvied up into sections like welcoming color combinations, friendly, romantic, powerful, and I thought it was really interesting that you could have these feelings that are grouped together with colors. And so I decided to pull the trigger on this one and really play with the idea of color combinations in 2018 and seeing how I can morph them into something more my own. Energetic. It was just fascinating. I don't know why. I stood there for ages just flicking. It also has these little pull things at the bottom, all the different colors, and these are perforated down here so you can use them. And it's got the colors here. I don't know. It just, for some reason, I was standing there going, this is a really interesting take on color, especially when it comes to color in advertising. Then it's got the color combinations here for you to look at. I don't know, it's such an obscure book for me to pick up, but I love the idea of color combinations and linking them to emotions and stuff like that. So I decided to pick this one up for my color library, which is ever changing. Pretty, festive, sophisticated, eco-friendly. It's really, really interesting. So I picked up that for my library, and then I picked up this beauty just because I loved the artwork inside it. So this is In the Garden of My Dreams, the art of Natalie Letty, and I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not quite sure. I'm probably butchering it. This is actually a fabric cover. I don't know if I like the fabric feel, so I may have to put like a clear thing over it because I'm very random on texture. But this book, I picked it up 4 times before I decided it needed to come home with me. It is just filled with her artwork and nothing but her artwork, and it's just so pretty and painterly and beautiful, and her color combinations, as you can tell, I was on a color combination kick. In the Garden of My Dreams, I can escape the world and paint. And I just loved everything about it. All the bright colors, the animals, the creatures, the girls. I just had to bring it home. And I haven't fully looked through it, but I absolutely love it. I want to draw the objects I've collected in a way a painter chooses his model and falls in love with his muse. I'm like a mother who, without knowing why, feels tenderly towards one or another object and cannot resist bringing it back home with me. That is like my motto in life. adopting things that I think need a home with me. I don't love all the imagery, but I love a lot of the imagery. Like more, I love more of it than I don't love it, if you get what I mean. Like some of the bears creep me out, but like then I have stuff like this that just like, I love her play with color. They also have stickers in the back, which I was like totally obsessed with. I think the stickers were what put me over the edge, to be honest. When John saw my eyes like go all bulgy when I saw the stickers, he's like, okay, Bambi, you can bring it home. And so I just want to sit down with a cup of tea and just look at this beautiful art and all the colors and the painterly look. I was even more excited that I'd bought the gouache because of this book, because it just looks so lovely. It's so lovely. Oh, I love books that just make me excited, and this made me excited. Excited to paint and play with color and just all of it, So I had to bring it home, and I just needed to add it to my library. I had to, guys. I had to. So they are the books that I bought from Barnes and Noble. Let me just look at what I've got down here, because I know that this video is getting longer and longer. Let's do pouches. Yes, pouches plural. I adopted quite a few pouches. Okay. I love that Blue Q brand. We don't have them in Australia. You guys have them, and the first one I bought was at the Japanese bookstore, and it was this massive green one with art materials on it, and I got that at the art supply warehouse, and it was Ro that pointed it out to me, and then I had to have it, so I grabbed one, and then I saw that they did other prints, and I bought 1, 2, 3, 4 and a coin purse, but I don't know where my coin purse is at the moment. I picked up a small one that says be bold or italic, never regular, and this actually housed a lot of my extra ephemera that had like busted out of my junk journal. I picked up this one with the black cats on it, and actually my gouaches are currently in there, but the brand is Blue Q Bags, and they are so very cool, and I love that they are waterproof, and actually my green mint gouache busted inside here and it wiped clean, so I was really happy with that. And then I picked up another big one at the Japanese bookstore that reminded me of Raven. It says I do as I please, and it's definitely, I love that sort of pale shell pink with the navy blue. I picked up this from PamelaBarsky.com. This was at the Artist and Flea in New York, and they had, I wanted to pick up so many of them. They had great little sayings on them, a lot of art related sayings. I wish I'd bought more, but they do deliver worldwide. I did ask because I want to go back and grab some more, especially as art gifts for friends. So it came in this beautiful bag, and this is the brand, so they're all in different places. Chelsea Market was where I picked mine up. I also did see them at Bryant Park and Union Square and Times Square. So PamelaBarsky.com is where I got, well, I got it from the Artisan Flea Market, but this one says I need to draw like I need to breathe, and there were just so many fantastic art related quotes. It is a simple little pouch, but I think it'll be great. I'm actually going to fill this with a couple of drawing supplies and leave it with a sketchbook in the car, so that I have a sketchbook and a pencil case in the car at all times, and I won't have to bring it in my handbag and stuff. I know, ridiculous, but you know who I am. You know that I love pouches, and these are no different. I also got gifted this beautiful pouch by Rashida at the New York meetup, and inside is a whole heap of stuff that I'll show you probably in the next part. She actually made me some stunning things. I've got cards in here, and there's just, it's packed with all the bits and pieces of ephemera and stuff from my trip, which you will see in the next part of my haul video. And I will leave you with 2 art prints that I purchased for my house, which I'm going to frame. I picked up this one from Grand Central Station. they had a Christmas market, and I'd been looking for a New York print that really stood out to me, and this one was that one. It's got really beautiful buildings, rainbow balloons, and raised glitter bits. I just absolutely love it, and it was a little bit expensive, but it was exactly the kind of New York print I wanted in our house. So I did pick up that one. And then I picked up this print by Risograph Prints by Christine Schmidt, and it is made in San Francisco in the USA, and I picked this up at the Japanese bookstore because it reminded me of John, and I loved the fluoro pink. I loved everything about it, and it was definitely something that made me think of John when I was staring at it, and I was like, I have to bring it home. So I'm actually going to frame these for our house, and they will go up on the wall, but I particularly love this one. It's just like everything I love in one print. John, neon pink, worky creatures, all of it. So those are two of the prints that I bought from New York. My junk journal is here. I'm going to be honest and tell you that I barely journaled at all because I was exhausted, and everyone told me this, but I didn't listen. But I also didn't expect my body to not cope too well. So in your next video, I'm actually going to do more of the haul, but I will spread them out so you'll get them every couple of weeks because there's still quite a lot of stuff to go through. I bought shoes, I bought quirky clothes, I was gifted a whole heap of stuff which I want to go through as well, and I haven't actually unpacked everything from my suitcases yet, so that will come. But your next video will be a mixture of junk journaling and vlog footage, so you can see how I start putting together my memories from start to finish. I did start a little bit of adding bits and pieces to the junk journal, but I didn't get very far. I was just exhausted, and more exhausted than a normal person because I am living off barely any food. So yeah, that is it. My battery is stuffing up, so that is it for part 1 of the Arty haul. If you have any questions, pop them down below. Thank you so much for being so understanding with this holiday and being amazing as always. I truly appreciate my inkies. So have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very soon with a junk journal video. Bye.